Here we go. Day 96. 96 lessons you've learned this year. That is crazy cool. Let's start with a statistical question. How tall is Mrs. Matson? Is that a statistical question? Does it require you to get a lot of different data points? And could those data points change? Or is my height just my height, 5'6", and you're done, right? It's not really a statistical question if there's just one answer. Now, if you ask the question, how tall are all the students on Maya's basketball team? You're going to need to get a few more data points, right? And those data points are going to vary. We've got shorter, we got taller girls, and so that's a statistical question. But if it's just me, what's my height? That doesn't require a lot of data. It doesn't require a lot of research, does it? It's just looking at one person and saying, how tall are you? And me saying, well, I'm 5'6". So that is not a statistical question. Now, let's go 2 lessons away. Let's go back to 2 lessons ago when we were talking about volume. And we know that because it said volume, I'm automatically just going to go length times width times height. Okay? Now, I'll actually read the problem. A shed is a rectangular prism. Rectangular prism. I'm such an art teacher. I'm so impressed with that. With a length of 12 feet, a height of 5.5 feet. What is the width? We don't know the width, but we do know the volume is 330. So I'm going to take that formula. I'm going to fill in what I know. I know the volume is 330. Said the length was 12. The height was 0.5, 5.5. We don't know the width. So let's combine those together since they're right next to each other. And we get 66. Okay, so here's what we know now. If we take the 66 and we times it by the width, we'll get 333. So let's work backwards. Let's isolate the variable, do inverse operations, and do the exact same thing to the opposite side to keep it equal. And that will give us 5. Ooh, that turned out very well. So we know that the width is 5 feet, not cubed, because we're just asking for that line between from one side to the next for the width, so 5 feet. Now we could check that, and we could go length times height times the width that we just found out, which is 5, and hopefully that equals 330. Should we see? It does. So I'm very certain that I did it correctly. The answer is 5 feet. Find the lateral area, which is my favorite, because then all I have to do is find the faces and new base. So just the faces, which are these 3 things right here, right? And so what I'll do, though, is I'll just find the area of one face and then times by 3, because it's a triangular pyramid with 3 faces. Okay, we're talking about a triangle. So we're going 1/2 times 8 times 7. Half of 8 is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. So I know that one triangle is 28 inches squared. But now I'm going to times that by 3 because there are 3 sides. And I get 84. 84 inches squared. 4 lessons ago, we were still looking at pyramids. This is a square pyramid, and it says the surface area. So I need to find the base and the faces. And because it's a square pyramid, there's going to be 4 faces, aren't there? All right, the base, because it's a square pyramid, I know the base will be a square. Or I know the base will have all the same sides. So my base will be 5. That means my height will also be 5. So I have 25 centimeters squared for the base. Now my faces are triangles. So I'm going to make sure I do the 1/2 times base times height. Half of 8 is 4 times 5 is 20. And this is where I'm going to times by 4 because there's going to be 44 triangular faces. And the last thing we're going to do is add them up to get 105 centimeters squared. Surface area. Hopefully by now we're like, okay, I could do this in my sleep. I'm going to find the area of that triangle. I know that that little 90-degree angle will tell me what my height is and what my base is. So I'm going to go 5 and 12. And I'm going to get 30. I'm also going to remember that there are 2 triangles there. So both those triangles together, both of them together is 30 square inches. Okay. Now let's start with getting the triangular or the rectangular parts. So that rectangle right there is 12 times 4, which is 48. This back rectangle is 5 times, what is that right there? Well, it's parallel with that and equal to that. So 5 times 4. And then this last rectangle that I haven't looked at yet is right here. It is definitely 4 and definitely 13. So 13 times 4, 52. And I'll add up the 60, 48, 20, and 52. And that will give me 180 inches squared. Whoa, how about 180, not 18? There we go. Okay, looking at a few things just to double check my work. When I did the triangle, did I do the 2 smallest numbers out of 5, 12, and 13? Yeah, 12 and 5 were the 2 smallest numbers, so I know I did that correctly. And then when I was doing all of the rectangles that go around the triangle, did I use the same height for all of them? Yep, I used 4 for all of them. So feeling pretty good about my answer there. 10 lessons ago, a pillow is in the shape of a regular pentagon. A pentagon has how many sides, Maya? Maya! Pentagon, how many sides? Oh, she got it. 5 sides. The front of the pillow is made from 5 pieces of fabric that are congruent triangles. Yeah, if you take 5 triangles, guess what you're going to make? You're going to make a pentagon. Okay, so let me try that again. Look at that. 5 triangles sewn together makes a pentagon. So each triangle has an area of 22 square inches. So that right there has an area of 22 square inches. What is the area of the front of the pillow? Well, the front of the pillow is a pentagon. So I want to know the area of all of that. Well, if one triangle has an area of 22, then I just need to do 22 times 5. And I get 110 inches squared. Now, some of you might be like, Mrs. Madsen, how come you didn't do the 1/2 base times height? Because it was a triangle. You're right. That will give me the area, won't it? But they already did that work for me. They already told me that the area is 22 square inches. So they already did the 1/2 base times height. They found out that it was 22 square inches. I didn't have to do that part. I just got to skip to the timesing by 5 because there are 5 triangles. So that was very helpful. Thank you for already telling me the area of one of the triangles. Find the area. Huh. Well, what shape is this? It's not a square. It's not a rectangle. Not a trapezoid, because that's parallel right there. And then those are parallel right there. So if both sides are parallel, it is a parallelogram. And how do we find the area of a parallelogram? What are you doing? She got up and she's drinking Daddy's soda. It's kind of late, girl. I don't want you eating caffeine. Okay, thank you. What are you watching? Do you want to come say hi? Come here. Oh, you're shy. You want to tell him what you were doing? Do you want to tell him it's pajama day? Show him your pajamas? She's been in her pajamas all day, except for when we went to Porch soccer game. Then she changed out, but then she came back home and got right back into her pajamas because they're cute frozen jammies. All right, a parallelogram. The formula for that is just base times height. It's one of the simple ones. It's the same as a square. A square is base times height. Same as a rectangle. Rectangle is base times height. They all have four sides that are all parallel with each other. So we can just do base times height. Now, the problem is this recipe only calls for a base and a height, but there's three numbers. That means one of those numbers we don't need. We just need the base and the height. And what's my trick for that? Look for the 90-degree angle, because the two numbers coming off of that will tell you what the base and the height is. Okay, we don't want the 8.5. That's like a slanted number. That's not a height. Your height is your straight up from your bottom, right? So the base is 9, the height is 7.5. So when I times those together, I get 67.5, and I have suddenly run out of room, which is squared. Oh yeah. Writing inequality for this situation. My mom says I can have no more than 12 people at my birthday party. That's right, my mom still is in charge of my birthday parties. She says I can have no more than 12 people. No more than 12 people. It says write an inequality. Remember, inequalities are those greater than or less than or equal to signs. So no, I can have no more than 12 people at my party. Okay, so we'll do P for party. And I can have no more than 12 people. Can I have more than 12 people? No. My mom's going to be really mad.
A sandwich with peanut butter.
Yes, but not right now. If you wait till I'm done, I can help you. Okay? So definitely not doing the greater than symbol. Whoa, no greater than. Can I have exactly 12 people? No, she said no more than that. Oh, wait. I could have exactly 12 people. She just said I can't have more than that. So I could have exactly 12 people at my party. Could I have less than 12 people at my party? Yes, she would even be okay with less than 12 people. She just is not okay if there's more than 12 people at the party. That must mean like wherever we're going, they charge more. They charge you more if you have more than 12 people. So she's okay with less than 12 or exactly 12, but not more than 12. Jason made 36 pints of lemonade for the class picnic. How many gallons of lemonade did he make? So I have my pints right here. I'm going to put my pints on the bottom, and it wants me in gallons. So I'm going to put gallons on top. Okay. I started with 36 pints of lemonade. And as far as this goes, I know gallons are bigger than pints. If I think of the kingdom of gallon, there's 4 queens, and each queen has a prince or a princess, right? So that ends up being 2, 4, 6, 8. There are 8 pints in a gallon. So when I multiply, I'm going to cancel out those pints. I could also simplify those, couldn't I? Divide both by 2, that'll give me 4 and 18. Divide those by 2, that'll give me 2 and 9. So when I multiply straight across, I get 9 halves, which is the same as 4 and a half. So 4.5 gallons of lemonade. My van went 168 miles on 14 gallons of gas. What was the unit rate? It's the rate. So 168 miles on 14 gallons. So if it's a unit rate, remember uni means 1. Unicorn, 1 horn. Unicycle, 1 wheel. Unit rate, 1 gallon in this example. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 14 because that will get me to 14 divided by 14 is 1 gallon. And then I'm going to go 168 divided by 14 on top to keep it equal, and I will get 12. So, 12 miles per 1 gallon. That's not very good gas mileage. or you could write 12 mpg. That's a really popular unit rate, so you just use the abbreviations for it. Change the fraction to decimal. Some of these, I'm curious, how many of these do you still have memorized? 1/2, do you remember that's still 0.5? Do you remember that 1/4 is 1/4? 1/5 and 1/8, you may not have memorized. So what you might have to remember how to do is the fraction-hating troll. So 1/5 is 0.2. 1/8 is, we're gonna put the top number inside the fraction bar, and then eighths always has 3 zeros. So I'm gonna go like this. Yeah, 125. So 1/8 is 125 thousandths. Okay, you remember that fraction-hating troll, tips it over, puts the top number inside. Hopefully that is solid in your head. There is your day 96. I'll see you on day 97. Bye.